All right, guys, now that you have tried the activity and you are comfortable with writing and simplifying your probabilities, we're going to finish up these notes with our last piece here with what's called a compound probability. All right, a compound probability. And let's talk about what that is for a second. All right. Up until this point, the probabilities you've been writing have only been based off of single events, either one piece of an independent or one piece of a dependent event. When we bring together independent events and dependent events, that's when we get what's called a compound probability, two or more events happening. Whoops. Two or more events happening. Now, when we have these compound probabilities, once we know the probability of each part of this, of each event, we have to do one specific operation, and that is to multiply them. So multiply the probabilities. So let's see how this works in our last example. So example 4, that same bag of Skittles with 12 reds, 12 purples, 10 green, 10 orange, and 10 yellow. So what is the probability of drawing a red Skittle from the bag, replacing it, and then drawing a green here? Now, we're going to focus on the idea of replacing, which means you put it back. You picked up that red one, you didn't want it, you put it back in the bag. Later on next week, we'll look at what happens when you don't replace. But for right now, you're picking that Skittle and you're putting it back. So let's see what happens when we get our two events here. All right, so the probability of getting a red Skittle we looked at earlier, which was 12 out of 54. And then now we need our second probability. Now I'm not simplifying this yet. Now we need to draw a green Skittle. So this time we have 10 out of that same 54, because guys, your total didn't change from the bag. So we need to multiply these straight across. So I'm going to hop over to my calculator and I'm going to do this multiplying. All right, so we had 12 from the first one times 10 from the second, which gives us 120. And then we had 54 total for the first problem, the first event, and then another 54 for the second one. So 120 over 2,916. 120 over 2,000. Sorry, my memory is not what it used to be. 916. All right, and now we need to simplify this fraction down. So one number I know that will go into both of these is 12. So both of these divided by a 12, and let's see what our final probability is going to be. All right, so 120 divided by that 12 is a 10. 2,916 divided by 12, 243. And that's as simplified as it's going to get. Now, if you're not sure, this is the Desmos calculator that I am using. This same calculator lets me do 120 divided by 2,916. And I'm going to push those two little squares out there by the decimals, and there's that same fraction, 10 over 243. So there is my final reduced fraction and my final probability. So 10 out of 243 chances for me to get a red Skittle out of the bag, put it back, and then a green, for that exact order to happen. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about compound events, compound probabilities, and how we can multiply those values together. So make sure you try the next activity, matching up some problems just like this one with the correct answer. The last slide, guys, has your assignment on it. So make sure you do click on that assignment and give it a shot. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the first section of probability. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the week, and I miss you guys. Bye.